Welcome to my Creative Chronic Life. Today I'm back with a different type of video for my channel, and this will be the first video I've done like this, so I hope you do all enjoy watching. What I'll be sharing today with you is my to be read list for 2024, and it's quite extensive, but I wanted to share what books I've already purchased, and rather than buy any more, I'm going to read what I've got at home first. So I wanted to share them with you, and then as I update my reading journal each month, each week, you'll know what's probably coming next, and you can recommend maybe what I should read next as well. So let's begin. What we have is, I've done them into sections, so preferably by author and then genre really. So let's see how we get on, and then some are just like a little bit miscellaneous, and we'll just take it from there. So the first one we have is, the author we have is Louise Pentland, and then this one is called Wild Like Me, and I've had this book now for quite some time, and I've read through, let me see, a good chunk of it, 203 pages to be exact. But if you asked me now, I cannot remember what it's about. I cannot remember why I stopped reading it or anything like that. No idea. I have a few books from Louise Pentland, and if you're not sure who she is a wonderful content creator over on YouTube, and she's on Instagram, and she's got her own books, and she usually just shares day in the lives about her lives. She's got 2 children, she's going to be getting married I think next year, and lots of stuff, and I've watched her for a long time. So of course when she decided to start writing and bring out a book, I was going to buy what she sold. So what I will do is I will share these books with you. So what I thought I would do is I would just read a little bit about the blurb, should I say, if I can find it, that is. Let's have a look. So just a quick intro, and it says, meet Robin Wilde, awesome single mum, aspiring makeup artist, good friend. From the outside, things look just fine, but Robin has a secret. And this is one of the first books that Louise Pentland brought out, and I'm not quite sure why I've not finished it, because I think, to the best of my knowledge, I was really enjoying it. So I think what I might do is I might start again from scratch. And what my intention is if I've got more than one book from that particular author, I'm going to read the first book in, if it's not a series, that is. If it's like, you know, one after the other, then I may just have to carry on until I complete that series. But something like this, where it's just a standalone book, I may be able to just get away with reading one from this author, one from another author, so on and so forth. So let's see. And this one is Wild Like Me, and then her next book is called Wild Women. And I love the fact that it's a big chunky book. And if you don't know who Louise Pentland is, this is her. You can see this. If you want to screenshot it and read it yourself, you can. And I'll just quickly read through for you. It says, I'm Robin Wilde, mum, newly appointed official girlfriend, makeup artist extraordinaire, and general plate spinning, life juggling, balance seeking badass. Or so I like to think. Everything seems to be slotting into place, not just for me, but for my close-knit little world of friends and family too. Yet despite all that, I still feel like I'm blagging it. Although our lives sound great on paper, cracks are beginning to show. My best friend Lacey is struggling to bond with her baby, my lovely Auntie Kath suddenly seems distant, and my daughter Layla is finding it hard to adapt to having a man in our lives. I love that for once everybody is depending on me, but I'm starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. It's like I have too many tabs open in my brain. Now I've been asked to go to the States for work, and it seems that the getaway we all need. Look out, New York, me and my girls are on our way. But will the city that never sleeps make us or break us? So I thought it was a standalone, but I presume this is still the same character from this book, because we're still talking about Robin here. And this is her third published book, and I think the second one was Sprinkles of Life. Hang on, let me have a look. What does it say? It says her second book was Life with a Sprinkle of Glitter, and I have no idea what that's actually about. And the next book that Louise published it's called Mum Life. Now, it's not actually about any particular character, it's about herself and her family, her life, and I'll read you the blurb again. Louise Pentland has been through a lot, from a traumatic birth with her first daughter to single motherhood, finding love again and having a second child. Louise's parenting journey has been full of surprises, discussing the realities most working mums face, plus the impact of maternal mental health. Louise is on a mission to make other mums feel less alone and very much heard. She beautifully reveals her own imperfect but perfect route to motherhood, as well as the loss of her mum so early in her life, how it shaped her and the mother she became. And I will tell you, I read the whole entire book of this, but I did want to just showcase this here. It made me cry. It was very heartwarming and very real, true to life. Lots of things have gone on for Louise in life sometimes, but it was a good read and it was nice to get to know Louise on a different level. But I wanted to pop that in here, even though I've already read the books, just in case that if you wasn't aware that it's not an actual fiction, a character book, it's about her real life. So we've got that one there. And then the next one we have in the Louise Pentland series is Wild About the Girl. And I will read the blurb again, and it says, Robin Wilde is acing life. So I'll just read the blurb for you then. It says, Robin Wilde is acing life. After the year from hell, she has pulled herself out of the emptiness. Her love life is ticking along nicely, and single motherhood is actually quite fun. When a thrilling opportunity at work arises, Robin is excited to step up and show everyone, including herself, what she's made of. But not everything is running smoothly. Her best friend, Lacey, is struggling to conceive, and her daughter Layla is sharing some horrible attitudes she's picking up from school. Is dear Auntie Kath hiding loneliness under her bubbly, loving manner? And can Robin definitely trust the people around her in her new role? But Robin and her girls together can handle any crisis, can't they? Life is about to throw quite the curveball at Robin Wilde. She'll need to make some pretty brave choices if she's going to stop everything she cares about falling apart. So as you can see, I have bought these books blindly. I have no idea what they were about, but I just wanted to support Louise. I bought these in a pre-order, and now as reading the blurb itself, I can see that these are obviously standalone books, but also you can read them one after the other. And then the final one that we have from Louise Pentland is Time After Time. And I love how colourful this cover is. And again, the blurb, it says, Tabby is stuck. She lives in the small town she grew up in, the town she's barely ever left. So when her dad drops a bombshell over their weekly Sunday dinner, Tabby takes a look at her own life. She lives firmly in her comfort zone and doesn't know how to break out. Sometimes she wishes she could go back and start all over again. Then she meets Bea, a free spirit like no one else she's ever known, with an interesting sense of style. Tabby quickly befriends her, recognizing in Bea the things she's been craving. But soon it becomes clear that more has changed than her new friend. Somehow Tabby has been transported back to the 1980s. With a chance to reinvent herself in another time, will Tabby finally manage to move forward? Very interesting. It'll be good to read this because I don't have to read the other ones to get to this one, because this is a new character, which I love. I wonder if there'll be like one and another book after this. Let's see. Lovely. So these are the books from Louise Pentland. So what I will do now is I will share the next set. And if you're not aware, Bridgerton is a Netflix series, but if you're not aware, the books actually came first. Now of course the pictures on the books are not the original version, but this one is chapter 1 and it's Bridgerton, the Duke and I. And then of course there's been series 2 out, and it says Bridgerton, the Viscount Who Loved Me. There's more in the series and there's more books, but I just have the 2. And if you are aware, I think they are saying that the next series is due to be out in May, so fingers crossed for that. So if you're not aware of Bridgerton and you'd like to read the books before you watch the Netflix series, you can do either or. So that's my intention. I want to see if it's similar, and I wish I'd read the books before I watched the series. I think I quite enjoyed that. So let's see here. It says the first of Julia Quinn's best-selling and beloved Bridgerton novels. Now a series created by Shondaland for Netflix. This is the story of Daphne and Simon. Welcome to the ballrooms of Regency London. Can there be any greater challenge to London's ambitious mamas than an unmarried duke? Lady Whistledown Society Papers, April 1813. By all accounts, Simon Bassett is on the verge of proposing to his best friend's sister, the lovely and almost on the shelf Daphne Bridgerton. But the two of them know the truth. It's all an elaborate plan to keep Simon free from marriage-minded society's mothers. And as for Daphne, surely she will attract some worthy suitors now that a duke has declared her desirable. The ruse works like a charm at first, but as Daphne waltzes across ballroom after ballroom with Simon, it's hard to remember their courtship is a complete sham. Maybe it's his devilish smile, certainly it's the way his eyes seem to burn every time he looks at her. It wasn't the plan, but it seems she's falling for the Duke for real. And amidst the glittering, gossipy, cutthroat world of London's elite, there is only one certainty: love ignores every rule. Now, of course, I know the outcome of what happened because I've watched the Netflix series, but again, I want to see if there's any differences, so I'll be looking forward to reading this. I do want to read book 1, 2 and 3 before the new series out in May, so that gives us a good couple of months to get through them. And then we have The Viscount Who Loved Me. And it says, Anthony Bridgerton, London's most elusive bachelor, has shown no indication that he plans to marry. And in all truth, why should he? When it comes to playing the consummate rake, nobody does it better. Lady Whistledown Society Papers, April 1814. This time the gossip columnists have it wrong. Anthony Bridgerton hasn't just decided to marry, he's even chosen a wife. The only obstacle is his intended older sister, Kate Sheffield, the most meddlesome woman ever to grace a London ballroom. The spirited schemer is driving Anthony mad with her determination to stop the betrothal. But when he closes his eyes at night, Kate's the woman haunting his dreams. Kate is quite sure that, contrary to popular belief, reformed rakes do not make the best husbands, and Anthony Bridgerton is the most wicked rogue of all. Kate's determined to protect her sister, but when Anthony's lips touch hers, she's worried she might not be able to resist the reprehensible rake himself. So again, I know the outcome of this book, but I'd like to see any differences, and I really enjoyed the series so far. So this is the Bridgerton series by Julia. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarrow. If you haven't heard about it, you just need to go on to TikTok and BookTok, and you probably see lots and lots about it. I have avoided all spoilers because I really didn't want to get going until I knew I had time to read this book. And unfortunately I'm a little bit late to the game, but that's okay. So it says, welcome to the brutal and elite world of Basford War College. I don't know if it's pronounced like that, no idea, could be butchering it. And it says 20-year-old Violet Sorrengill was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among the books and history. Now the commanding general, her tough as Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates surviving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her for just being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Everyone at Basford has an agenda, so sleep with one eye open, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. Now, I've read a few pages of this, and because it's super heavy, I wasn't able to continue on because I had a procedure done on my arm and it's just been way too heavy to be able to pick up and carry and follow me around the house, should I say. So I'm looking forward to reading this probably in February. But I will say we have part 2 to the book, and even though I've not read part 1, I already picked up part 2 because I picked it up on a pre-order because I knew that I've heard good things about Rebecca Yarrow and I definitely wanted to keep buying each book in her collection. And this is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarrow. Oh, look at the cover. The inside, isn't it beautiful? You know it's going to be a good read when they've got work like this. Now, of course, if you don't want to see any spoilers, this is the book that follows on the first one. So if you haven't read the first one, don't think about listening to this part here. Just forward a little bit away. But I don't mind because it just makes me want to read the first book a little bit more. And it says, she survived her first year at Basket. I keep wanting to say Bagsafe, but I don't think it's that. Basket in War College, but the danger is just beginning. Everyone expected Violet Sorrengill to die during her first year at Basket War College, Violet included. But threshing was the only first impossible test, meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch the raiders' capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's the new Vice Commandant who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is, unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has her wits and a will of iron, and leadership is forgetting the most important lesson. Basket has taught her dragon riders make their own rules, but a determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries as Basket War College, and nothing, not even Dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end. Yeah, it definitely makes me want to read the first one. I just think it's stunning. and this is the author herself. Now, I have since been on obviously Book Talk. I do know that there's more books of Rebecca Yarros out there. Now, originally when I got the Fourth Wing, I didn't know you was meant to read some other books beforehand, but some people say start with this, start with that. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with what I've got. That's my main rule for 2024. Read what I have, add later if I finish. And again, we have a similar type of genre, which is more about dragons and fairies and the fae. I was kindly gifted this book by a wonderful friend, and I wasn't really sure about anything about this world. I mean, I enjoyed Harry Potter as a child, and I loved reading things about dragons and fairies and dungeons, but as an older adult, I wasn't really quite sure where to start. So this was a nice surprise when I got this book. And again, I fell off the reading wagon last year, so I don't even remember how far I got. So I decided what I'm going to do is start again. So this is a series of books, and I'll just read this to you. And it says, Faya is a huntress. The skin of a wolf would bring enough gold to feed her sisters for a month, but the life of a magical creature comes at a steep price, and Faya has just killed the wrong wolf. Taken prisoner by a high Fae lord, Faya learned that her masked captor is hiding even more than his piercing gaze suggests. But as Faya's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn through every warning she's heard about his kind, a shadow is falling across the land, and if Faya cannot fight it, she will lose everything. And this is the first book in the sweeping romantic fantasy series by the #1 New York Times best-selling author Sarah J. Maas. And just as it said, it's pretty much that. There's a lot of world building in this one, but this is important for you to read to get to the rest. Now, because it's been such a while since I've read it, I think I was maybe on the last few chapters and I kind of gave up on reading. I had like a reading slump. So it'll be nice to go back and read through this and continue on with the rest. So the next book in this series is A Court of Mist and Fury. And I love the covers. Beautiful. Again, if you don't want to see any spoilers and you're really not looking to see what's happening next, I would skip these because there's a few books, and of course in the blurb itself it's going to give you information about probably the ending or whatever happened in the last book. Again, I don't mind, but if you don't want to watch, just forward. And it says, Faya is immortal. She has rescued her lover Tamlin from the sadistic Faya Queen and now possesses Faya powers beyond imagining. But Faya cannot forget the destruction she wrought through to save her beloved, nor the bargain she made with Rysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court. And as Faya is drawn even deeper into Rysand's world, she senses a dark pain in his heart that echoes her own. For good or ill, Faya must embrace the changes within her. War is looming, and only the full might of her new powers can save the people and this is the third one. And wow, aren't these colours vibrant? And this is A Court of Wings and Faya will bring vengeance. She left the Night Court and her High Lord and is playing a deadly game of deceit. Her former lover Tamlin is making deals with Faya's enemies, and she is determined to uncover his plan. But can she make him believe that she has come back to him when every fibre of her being yearns for Rysand? As mighty armies clash, Faya will discover she is not the only one hiding something. And as the web of secrets, lies and betrayals is revealed, fighting for the truth may cost Faya and her own court the ultimate. And then we have number 4 in the series, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight. And again, beautiful. Love it. On the darkest night the stars still shine. Fair's first winter solaced as High Lady is drawing near. With it will come a hard-earned rest for the work that she, Rysand, and their friends have done to rebuild the night court and the vastly changed world beyond. Yet the festive atmosphere can't keep shadows from looming. Yet the festive atmosphere can't keep shadows from looming. Even as her own heart heals, she finds that those dearest to her have wounds that go deeper than she knew, and the scars of the past will touch her court in times to come. And that is A Court of Frost and Starlight. And the final one we have, as of now, is A Court of Silver Flames. And this is a chunky book. Look at that. Untamed power, untamed passion. Nesta Archin has always been quick to anger and slow to forgive, and since the war she struggled to find her place at the strange and deadly night court. The person who ignites Nesta's temper more than any other is the winged warrior Cassian, but that isn't the only thing that he ignites, and when Cassian and Nesta are forced to train in battle together, sparks become flame. As war looms again, Nesta and Cassian must fight monsters from within and without if they are to survive. But the ultimate risk will be searching for acceptance and healing in each other's arms. Very, very interesting, especially as I have no idea what's going on, and I want to know now why this has got two completely different characters in. I think I've set myself up fairly, haven't I, by doing this to be read list for 2024, because now I'm going to be really stuck in what I actually want to read and what I want to get through. Oh my goodness me. So that's A Court of Silver Flame. We have The Flat Share and The Switch by Beth O'Leary. And what actually came first was The Flat Share. And as you can see, I started reading the book, but I never got very many pages through it. And I was going to go back to reading it, but in the end I ended up watching the series on Paramount, which I absolutely loved. So I cannot wait to read the book either. So again, I'm going to be restarting that because I'm only a few pages in. Their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the one-bedroom flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems the flat share is more complicated than expected. Now I know from the series I loved it. There were mixed reviews on the book whether the book matched the actual series. Now of course, like, I'm going to read it myself to find out if it is or not, but what I'm thinking about doing is reading the book again and then going back and watching the series again, and that's over on Paramount. So let's see, there's a few variations of books from Beth O'Leary. So this one was her first book, and I think the next one in this series, is The Switch. Well, it's not a series as such, but the next one she wrote was called The Switch, and it says Beth O'Leary, author of The Flat Share, because I think people really enjoyed it, which is why I wanted a good read, and to the best of my knowledge I picked it up on Amazon because it was like £4 something. Lena is too young to feel stuck. Eileen is too old to start over. It's time for the switch. After blowing a big presentation at work, Lena takes a 2-month sabbatical and escapes to her grandmother Eileen's house for some overdue rest. Eileen is newly single and about to turn 18. She'd like a second chance at love, but her tiny Yorkshire village doesn't offer many eligible gentlemen. A life swap seems the perfect solution, but with a rabble of unruly OAPs to contend with, as well as distractingly handsome local school teacher, Lena learns that switching lives isn't straightforward. In London, Eileen is a huge hit with her neighbours and with the online dating scene, but is her perfect match nearer to home than she first thought. Oh wow, very interesting. And like the fact that it's set in Yorkshire, so it'd be good to read that because I'm from Yorkshire, and it'd be nice to see if they've put any comparisons into any particular areas around here. And if you wanted to know which books are next in the series, we have got the road trip, and then the next one is the road trip, and then after that is the no-show, and then the one after that last year for 2023 is the wake-up call. I've heard wonderful things about the road trip, but I've heard neither about the last two, so it'll be nice to see if I can pick up that as a standalone, but again, not until I get through these. And that is The Switch by Beth O'Leary. And that's all we have time for today, and that is part 1 done. You can follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, Threads app at My Creative Chronic Life. You can also follow my book club on Facebook at My Creative Chronic Life. I do now have a TikTok, which is MCCL Book Talk. If you would like to follow for all things related to books, please do. That's all we've got time for today. I hope you've all enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed sharing the books that I've got on my shelves with you. Until next time, bye bye.